Hello, guys. We are in Shinjuku Gyoen, an amazing garden. Got a beautiful Japanese maple behind us. We got some cherry blossoms over there. Very beautiful garden. We just got here. We're going to walk around a little bit and hopefully enjoy it. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the MrMaple Show. My name's Corbin here, and today I'm going to be walking with y'all through this guided tour of Shinjuku Gyoen. Now, this is part 2. Part 1 dropped maybe about a month ago. You can go check that out. Kind of get a feel for the entrance and kind of the grandness of it all. But part 2 is pretty awesome. There's definitely a lot of garden going on here, and it's such an amazing, beautiful garden. Everything is so well maintained. There's large maples, there's large cherries, there's large conifers, and a large variety of them as well. And they're all landscaped so beautifully. Now, I love water in the landscape. You know, it brings in, you add a couple fish in there, you start to get some movement and rippling of the beautiful water. There's going to be birds that are coming in. And I feel like having any sort of pond, reflection pond, or a little creek, if you can manage it, I think it really elevates the garden. Now, obviously, this is a huge pond that not everybody could have, but putting those little things in the landscape really enhances it a lot. And my homie Brian, my Oklahoma, me and him were having a little bit of discussion. It's like whenever you're planting, sometimes with certain plants and certain aspects of landscaping, you really feel like you're leaving an impact on the earth, being an impact in the food web, or just the ecosystem in general. And bringing some water is definitely a really easy way to feel really connected to the area. You're going to start seeing lots of animals and beautiful bugs and that sort of stuff. And I mean, I think that's something that is very thought about as well. It's in Japanese landscaping. Yeah, reflection ponds are just so amazing, just to see the inverse of all the plants on the bank, and seeing the sky and the water on the still water is just such an amazing thing. It just kind of enhances the beauty of the area, Walking under these big trees right here is just, it's so cool. It was such a great trip, and I think now my vacations might be ruined because I might have to be going back to Japan every year, just because it's just a place that, it doesn't just make you appreciate the beauty that's around you while you're there. I felt like I was kind of changed a lot whenever I got back home and started to notice the beauty and the intricacies of everything around me.
back home just from the imprint that places like Shinjuku Gyoen and people that I met, like Nakata-san, and spending time in Japan, really, it opened my eyes to the world of plants and thinking about how, humans interact with the world. And I think that's a great thing, and I really think plants allow you to learn those things about yourself and about the world, and going to this garden was an amazing experience. There's some beautiful Japanese maples with samara starting to form on it. And I think we get hung up on cultivars a lot, but just the beauty and the elegance of a green maple is just something that can't be understated. Oh man, yeah, this was a tree that really caught my eye right here. It's some silvery blue pine that just had such amazing bark, and it really just kind of looked like a blue tree out in the landscape, contrasting with the those more paler green needles on the silvery blue bark. It was just such a beautiful tree. And I think I've seen this a couple different times as well. I saw one whenever I was in Pittsburgh at a arboretum up there. And I'll put the name in the video as well. But this was one where the subtlety of the bark, especially in comparison to the red barks of the red pines, was just so beautiful. There was really a lot of contrast going on right here. Again, walking under a giant Acer palmatum. And I just think it's so beautiful too. It's every single tree you see there has been meticulously pruned by somebody who studied so many years to become somebody who prunes these trees. There's so much thought put into it and so much pride put into it to create this beautiful landscape for everybody to enjoy, and I think there's such beauty in that. Some cool tree growth going on right there. I just think it's so beautiful how the trees reach for the light, and how these plants are planted so that they can take advantage of the canopy, but there's still enough space, and they're all spread out enough to where you can be back and look up into them and kind of take in all their grandeur and their size and beauty. And it really is just so well thought out. Got some beautiful azaleas going on right there. To looking out at the field full of cherry blossoms. Here you see, that field full of cherry blossoms that was in the last video. And you just see all these people walking there, enjoying their day. There were some people that brought their dogs there to take pictures with the cherry blossoms. And there's people in cosplay and that sort of stuff. So people get really excited and go take advantage of some photo opportunities here. And I can understand why, because it is just absolutely spectacular. I'd love to come back in a little bit later springtime so that I could take advantage of kind of the falling season of the blossoms that happens. The cherry trees kind of go through 4 distinct waves of the blossoming period. You start to see the budding, and then the cherries kind of fill out and get a lot more blooms on them. Then as they start to finish those first sets of blooming, the petals start to fall down. And then for the 4th one, they have it what they call like a pink carpet or a white carpet, where you have all the petals that have fallen, creating this beautiful matte effect all around. And I would love to see that. I think what's really cool to me too is that these cherries are actually a cultivated variety. The straight species has a lot less blooms on this, but this has become such a endemic cultivar. I guess it's everywhere in Japan that it's kind of become its own thing. It's so interesting. I guess back in the day, who knows how long, maybe a couple 100 years ago, they started planting these Yoshino Sakurai, and it's amazing. It's so cool to think about this plant was so good back in the 1500s or earlier, that they just started planting it everywhere, and it just became something that Japan's known for. And to know that all these came from, the same ancestor of a tree is just so cool. And it's something that we think about with maybe like foods. You have bananas and that sort of thing, where you have a Cavendish cultivar that's become so just so recognizable that you kind of forget about other banana types that used to exist. And it's just interesting that as we go on like through history, there's always certain cultivars of certain plants that either resonate with people back in the day, and they're just so beautiful and present that they still resonate with people in the present day. It's such a cool thing to think about too, that there's so many hands that have been involved in selecting this plant back in the day, planting it everywhere, and then they're still people that are taking care of and pruning all these trees. And it's such a just eye-opening experience to think about as well. I do love how the cherry blossoms just kind of look like clouds emerging from the ground, and then as you kind of get up under them, they replace the clouds, and you see these shimmers of lights through the translucent petals, and you see the sky, and it just kind of fills the open space, and it's just so beautiful. And these lace leaves, I think they kind of just blew my mind. I mean, if you saw one of these in the States, it would probably be in like a big collector's garden, or it would be one that kind of turns your head, especially if you're a Japanese maple enthusiast like myself. And just to see it with 3 or 4 other plants that look exactly same style pruning, and they just all look so open to where a tree could where a bird could fly right through it. It's just so beautiful, and it makes you a little envious, honestly. I mean, I know we have beautiful gardening in America, but it's like, man, why, like, this would be something crazy to see that everybody would be taking pictures of with like at Portland Japanese gardens, but here it's kind of just a second thought, as people walk past this all the time. And I just love that branching structure. Just is so beautiful. And this was early springtime too, so a lot of those buds are just starting to unfurl, and these are all fresh leaves, so they have some crazy color on them. They've got some funky shapes, and just pair so well with the pruning style of the maple. Just the little bridges and the little areas where, you could be in this giant garden with a couple thousand people and still kind of get that option to be by yourself and be alone and enjoy the garden without the thought of other people is just so nice. And I think it's important, it's like, especially for large gardens, it's like there should be the spectacle, but there should be space for those quiet moments as well. And having that opportunity to sit and think and really take the garden up and, kind of forest bathe in the garden is something that's always appreciated, especially in a place so beautiful. Now, guys, hopefully I didn't talk too much and still allowed you to kind of soak in the tranquility and the beauty of this garden, while still kind of giving you some facts and whatnot. But this is part 2. Make sure to check out part 1, where Tim and I kind of break down the beginning of this garden. And I hope you enjoyed this, guys. Make sure to drop a like, comment, something that you thought was super beautiful in this garden, and, subscribe if you're not. And if you want to support us, make sure to shop on MrMaple.com. Take care, God bless, and have a great day, guys.